Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to
the
Retro Blood. As we continue this month's look at 1980s slashers of the college and high school genre, because this month on the Retro Blood, it is yours truly's picks for his birthday month over here, and we are doing 1980s killer school, I guess.
The killer school. Yeah,
Killer
like school slashers.
School slashers, teenage slashers. The heart and soul of the 80s, I guess. The slasher genre in the 80s over here. And up next, if y'all like Scream 2 before Scream 2 came out, if y'all like a movie that kids are filming, a movie within a movie, alright? And then you got a dumb cop, and then another dumb cop, and they couldn't tell the whole movie that they were picking up fake body parts. If y'all like that. If y'all like comedy, alright? If y'all like a young Bruce Wayne on here, showing off his young man skills. Probably the worst Bruce Wayne ever, but he's still funny.
Yeah, not the best for sure.
One George Clooney on here has a security guard actor who gets offered more money, more prestige to go onto a regular TV show, not this low budget crap, but then gets killed before he can even get there. And then this is the return to school movies for you, because the Retro Blood is talking all about Return to Horror High. Yeah. You're back. We're back here.
We're back here again, finally.
Now, this is not a sequel to Horror High, which was a 1970s killer film. This is actually just its own thing. All right?
It is.
J.H. Alison, James Kline, what's happening, Alison? How you doing?
Good, man.
How you liking these school slasher stuff so far?
I mean, so far so good. I think you've picked some good choices here. Like, I liked Slaughter High last week, and I actually liked this movie way more than I thought I was going to. But you do have a good point, though. I don't see how there's any way that Scream 2 was not influenced by this movie.
Yeah, because, if I got my horror brain correctly, wasn't Scream 2 like the same thing? It was a horror movie within a horror movie?
Yeah, they were. I haven't seen it in a long time, but they were making Stab.
Yeah, Stab,
which was based on what happened in Scream 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty much, it's very similar.
Yeah. Because so this one's kind of interesting. Now, first of all, I know this monster is gonna be full of comedy, but it's like every fucking movie we're watching is comedy. I'm almost over with it. Like, we're gonna do a non-comedy month just so I can get away from all this comedy.
I know.
Right? But anyway, so this one right here was actually pretty newsworthy for its time, I guess, because it was one of the first slasher films that it knew it was a slasher, kind of like a Scream, you know what I mean? But it was obviously it was made in 1987, and it was kind of like, what do you call it, one of those meta films. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was trying to think of that. It's the first meta horror film I can think of.
Yeah, well, for the slasher genre at least.
Yeah, definitely for the slasher genre.
Because it's like one of those things where, kind of like that. They're making a movie within a movie. You know what I mean? So the whole movie is trying to recreate the murders that happened at this school. All right, and then like we're watching the movie reenactment. All right, and people are dying within the reenactment of the movie. So it's a little confusing, but I thought it was okay. It wasn't anything like revolutionary, and I thought there's some parts that were pretty goofy. I did like the Scooby-Doo reveal at the end. That's always fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. I think it was revolutionary for its time.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit confusing in that, or at least maybe I was just confused because you can't really tell when they're filming the movie or when it's actually happening. Because you know, like something will be happening, and all of a sudden it's a scene from the movie, like when the actors are getting stalked. But I mean, I liked it. I mean, you know, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought, you know, like some of the dialogue obviously was goofy, but that's for the time. That's for the time, and it was creative on certain parts, but I mean, like, I don't know, the reveal at the end, it was like, really, this is just a prank, you know what I mean? And then then what they would do also too, which was also confusing, where they would you know, like you were saying, they would trick you, and to make it look like this is really happening, but it's just part of the movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
They did that a couple of times, but then they would trick you again by having the girl dream about the killer happening too.
Yeah, the dream sequences I could have done without.
It was like constant swerves, brother. All right, I was watching Raw from 1998 on here, brother. Swerves everywhere.
Yeah, swerve after swerve, swerving the swerves.
No swerves. All right, don't get marked Buster. All right.
Yeah.
But we'll talk all about it. Like I said, this one, like, you know, I think the biggest shocker to me was this shit made $1 million. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? I was like, all right, we see ya. All right, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, that's like a drop in the bucket of what was going on with the big franchises. But, you know, for a lower horror movie at the time, that this guy wrote in, like, I guess a day or two. I mean, I did it pretty well, making over $1 million at the box office. So
yeah.
But let's get into it, everybody. Just like we do on every Retro Blood, let's get into what is happening in the world of the pro wrestling and the metal music. The reason we do this, you know, spice everything up a little bit. You know what I mean? For all the new viewers out here, you know, thanks for joining us here on Retro Blood. We'd like to have a little rock and roll, talk about a little wrestling as well too. Kind of goes along with the movie, you know. I mean, come on, George Clooney at this time, you know, that guy was rocking out to some shit, brother.
Oh yeah, totally. With that hair, definitely.
Exactly. So the release date of this one was January 9th, 1987. All right, so we're deep into the 80s. We're definitely in the commercial era of the 80s, 1987. We're popping out, brother. We're popping out horror movies like they're going out of style right now. I mean, golly, there had to be like, what, 1 million fucking movies or whatever, just in 1987 alone.
I was about to say, by this point, horror movies are big business.
Yeah, and they'll sell out anywhere, man. They'll sell out on the screen. You can go by J.H. Rent Center. They'll fucking go out there and buy all that shit up. This is the hot territory for some horror. And it's also some hot because the WWF is still rolling on at this time. All right?
Yep.
Because on the date that this movie was released in theaters, the legendary WWF tag team debuted, which is the newest Hall of Famers, the Axe,
Doom,
the Axe, the Smash, Demolition.
Demolition, yes, not Doom.
Yes, Doom was WCW.
Yes,
right? with Ron Killings and Butch.
Not Ron Killings.
Yeah, Ron Killings and Butch Reed.
No,
right?
Ron Simmons.
Oh yeah,
Ron Killings is the truth.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We're both fucking it up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yes, we got the legendary tag team Axe and Smash. All right, debuted on this episode. It was actually in San Diego, California, managed by Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man. All right, they just defeated Salvatore Bellomo and Mario Michucci in a quick squash match. So obviously, you know, Demolition is probably one of the most famous tag teams in WWF history with their big old spikes. Kind of like, it looked like it kind of looks like some German sex gear when they would come out on there.
It does, kind of, yeah.
You know what I mean? The little leather and spikes and shit.
Were they like the WWF's answer to the Road Warriors at the time?
Yes, they pretty much were. So, you know, the story goes where basically, man, you know, obviously he couldn't get the Road Warriors at the time because I think they were part of Crockett. They were with Crockett basically for a long time, mostly part of the 80s, you know what I mean? And you know, obviously they were like one of the biggest draws for tag teams was LOD. I mean, they would use them on top all the time. and Crockett and stuff like that. And, you know, Vince McMahon, you know, obviously, you know, if anybody knows anything about the WWF, it's all about big, jacked up dudes in the 80s. You know what I mean? I mean, you walk into the door, you better get some meat and some juice, brother. All right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got to do the steroids, but don't tell us about it.
Yeah, don't tell us, brother. All right? So, I mean, they're here just like, you know, fuck it. I'll just make my own Road Warriors. You know what I mean? So you got Barry Darsow and the other guy, you know, on there. And, you know, they're two big dudes, too, as well. You know, they're not like Road Warrior jacked, but they're pretty big guys. So, at first, it was just that was his answer, just to get a team that kind of looks like the Road Warriors on there. You know what I mean? Because obviously, the gimmick's doing well for them. It could do, you know, it could do well for the E. But they actually carved out their own path, which was cool. All right? But they kind of went down here once Vince McMahon was able to get LOD and come aboard. That's when Demolition kind of fell a bit to the wayside. They even tried to bring in Crush. Crush. Were you ever a Crush guy?
No, I was never really. Well, I wasn't really watching wrestling at WWF at this point. I could only really watch Crockett, so I really didn't know about these guys till much later.
You didn't like Kona Crush, the surfer guy?
I didn't like him. I'm just saying I wasn't really into it at the time.
You didn't like the Repo Man?
Oh yeah, well, you know,
which would be part of. I think
that's a great character. Yeah, that's a great character.
So obviously, you know. Anybody that watch Demolition has one of the best themes. Here comes the axe. Here comes the smash. All right, so that's a good one. But yeah, check them all out if y'all haven't seen them before. Demolition. They actually make or they were making like the horror movie rounds too. So there you go. Do you think they were watching Return to Horror High when they got done with their squash match?
Oh, I guarantee they were. Those guys look like they watch horror movies.
Yeah. They love it.
So they were probably going, hey, we got to get out of it. You know, we want to go on first so we can go out and watch Horror High after this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they were definitely saying they were like right up in the box office, these guys.
Yep.
So what do we got for the music, Alison? I listened to it. It sounds like somebody you would smoke a bunch of weed and acid to and start listening to it.
You're not wrong. That's for sure. So I want to talk about this band because we never talked about them before. And I couldn't get an exact release date of when this album came out, but I know it's around the time of this movie.
Yeah.
So what I'm talking about this week is the Mighty Skin Yard. Yeah. So Skin Yard is a band that not a lot of people know about. You pretty much would only know about Skin Yard if you were like really into grunge music.
Yeah.
And music from that time. So Skinyard was one of the original, I guess you could say, Seattle grunge bands. So they were they were together from like 1985 to about 1992. So they broke up like right when they would have gotten big, right? So like 1992 is like when grunge, you know, 91, 92 is when grunge bands started getting big, Nirvana, Soundgarden, all those bands. So they broke up right before that. But this band though, the first album that we're talking about, the one that came out this week was called, sorry, I lost power there for a second. So anyway, let me start over. So the album that came out on this day was their first album, which was called Skinyard. So this album actually had Matt Cameron from Soundgarden playing drums. So he was already in Soundgarden at this point, but he was in both bands at the same time. And it has a guy named Jack Endino who is more famous as a producer.
Yeah. So
Jack Endino started a recording studio, and he recorded like the early Soundgarden stuff, the early Pearl Jam demos. He recorded like Chris Cornell's solo stuff and his early demo solo stuff when he was still in Soundgarden. Melvins. He recorded a bunch of Seattle bands, and he became more famous and Grammy Award winning as a producer, but he was a guitar player in this band. And then those really honestly, those are the two big people that most people know of. The bass player was Daniel House, and he went on to like run record labels and things like that. But basically this was like a prototype grunge band. So like this band, Green River, the Unmen, bands like that were like the kind of bands that would lead into Soundgarden, who had just formed around the time this band was playing. Also, bands like Battery and some of the more underground grunge bands that nobody knows about, like they were kind of influenced by this band. So they were like, this was kind of the band that I say this is the band that like started grunge really, because they were the first band that sounds like what we think of as grunge, like Soundgarden and bands like that. This is the first band to me that truly sounded like that. But yeah, I just want to talk about that because we don't really talk about this kind of stuff a lot, and nobody talks about this band. Their albums are still available. They're all great. Even the later ones are good. I think they made 5 albums. All 5 of them are good. But yeah, this is a band that more people should know about, but don't.
Yeah.
But if you like Soundgarden and like heavy, like detuned stoner metal with like really good vocals, Skin Yard is your band.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the first album was self-titled, it's called Skin Yard. So yeah, but this is it's great. It's really good. I know you listen to it a lot, and it sounds like stoner metal to you, I'm sure. But like, what were your thoughts on it?
Besides, we're trying to find the acid around my house. All right, it was pretty good. It was like it did kind of remind me of that period a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like that. It's. I would say it's like your band you're talking about, like Soundgarden and stuff like that. But this one, I feel like it was a little more jammy than they are.
It is a little more jammy, yeah, and a little less metal, I guess you would say. It's more bluesy.
Yeah, more bluesy.
Like there's a huge blues influence to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really. Oh, there's the cat.
Is he a big stoner rocker?
Oh yeah, he's a huge stoner. Like especially when he's like gets into his catnip, he just like
he's ready to go, brother.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Well, hey, Catty, what did you think about George Clooney's role as Oliver on Return of Horror High?
He says I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, he don't care. He's like I don't like him from Old Brother. What was that movie?
Where Art Thou? Old Brother, Where Art Thou? Yeah. But yeah, so the second, the probably the worst Batman ever is in this movie as well.
I know. Come on, brother. You don't like Batman and Robin?
Oh God. It's a dead tie for last for me between George Clooney and Val Kilmer as Batman. Like those are my 2 least favorite ones. Even though I love both those guys as actors, they're just not Batman.
Yeah.
I even like the Twilight guy better, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, George Clooney, we'll get to him because let's get to it right now. Let's get into who booked this shit, brother.
Yeah, who booked this shit?
So before we get into the director, just to continue our talking of George Clooney, like apparently this was like his first, like, it wasn't his first film because he did like a TV movie, Grizzly Stew or something like that.
Okay.
But this is like his first like actual like going in theaters film. All right. Even though he's only in there for like what 10 minutes. All right.
I was about to say he's not in it much. He's not in it much.
So, since I breaking gimmick over here, I'm more of a 90s kid. The first time I remember seeing George Clooney at all was from a little fun horror movie From Dusk Till Dawn. All right?
Okay.
Now that one was a fun one. All right. Some creepy shit on that one. All right. And then obviously George Clooney's also known obviously for the Oceans movies. I remember seeing a couple of those.
Yeah.
Old Brother with Art Thou was probably his most famous movie, I would say, or at least his most popular one. And of course he's been into a bunch. So. Of course he's been in a bunch of TV shows, won multiple Emmys and stuff. So I wouldn't say like he's like a horror actor, but it's pretty cool to see that he's actually been in a couple before, even some of them in the later parts of his career.
Yeah, and I did want to mention that movie Grizzly 2.
Yeah.
So technically he did make Grizzly 2 first.
Yes.
But Grizzly 2 was never released, not until 2020. Yeah. So it didn't actually come out because it's a sequel to a movie called Grizzly that I really like.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, the first Grizzly is a great movie about an attacking grizzly bear. Yeah. It's a really good horror film. But yeah, Grizzly 2, even though he's in that, was not really finished and released until 2020.
That's great. Wait, 2020? How is that possible?
Yeah, because it was a lost movie. It's actually, there's a funny story about that. We should do it on the show at one point since it's technically an 80s movie. But yeah, it didn't come out to 2020. I'm
That's
not
weird.
exactly sure the story on why it wasn't finished. But it just wasn't. I mean, they just didn't finish it. They finished filming it, but they didn't edit it.
That's weird.
And it just never was released. I mean, that's the one thing I didn't really know without researching it.
Yeah.
But I know it was an unreleased film, so it was kind of a lost film for decades. And then it came out like 6 years ago.
Interesting. Yeah, we might have to do that. So I can figure out why this rated movie wasn't released until the 2000s. So, but on Return to Horror High,
Mm-hmm.
all right, the director guy, all right,
Yeah.
Bill, Forlix?
I have no idea how to say that guy's name. I'm going to say
Yeah.
Frolix or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Well, all he needs is a one-hit brother, which is this.
That's true.
All right. So he said he wrote the screenplay for Return to Horror High over a period of several days. Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
No kidding. You don't say.
He said, I just started writing and didn't stop. Okay, well, that's what you do when you're writing, I guess. He said it flowed out in just a few days. I wrote late into the night until I couldn't keep my eyes open. Only then I would go to sleep. And then I wake up early in the morning, fire up to get back into it because the story was running around my head. Oh yeah, which part of the story was running around your head? Was it the teacher trying to sleep with the youngster student? Was that the one that got you all
Maybe.
motivated there, brother?
What keeps you up at night?
Was it the blonde cop who said she slid in blood from first period to like the back of the halls, and then she found a head that's supposed to be fake, like the blood was fake, and nobody could tell the blood was fake at all, even though they're police officers? Is that the part that took you several days, Bill? All right.
She's my favorite character in this whole movie.
Well, apparently she's like the
blonde
second.
cop.
Apparently she was like the second famous actress in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but obviously the most famous person to come out of this movie was George Clooney. But I think the girl, what's her name? Oh God, I think it was Officer Tyler, maybe Maureen McCormick. Yeah. Yeah, she was best known for her role as Marcy Brady on the television sitcom The Brady Bunch.
Oh,
All right.
Okay. I never really watched that show, so
You're not a Brady's guy?
No, not really a Brady's guy. I've never really watched. It's probably good though. Also,
Yeah.
Alex Rocco is a pretty famous actor. He played the director of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen him in a lot of things, but
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. So also too, McCormick was the first actress to portray Rebecca Crane on the television soap opera Passions, brother.
oh well.
There you go. All right. Some passions over here.
Yeah.
All right. So this film was it was picked up by New World Pictures. All right, which was picking up everything pretty much in the 80s, and they gave these motherfuckers $800,000
Yeah. I wonder where that money went.
to do what?
That's what I'm saying.
For the fake head? For George Clooney's makeup?
Yeah, right.
For the fake blood that nobody knew was fake?
That's why they spent so much money on it. It was so real they didn't even know.
For the cops that said there was body parts everywhere, but yet everybody was still intact? Am I missing something here?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it cost like $800,000 to make, and it made like a little bit over $1 million. But they were saying that it probably could have done better. But New World was like completely not really going bankrupt, but they were like losing like all their business
they bought
at this
up
point,
everybody.
not really promoting movies and things like that.
They just put out everything.
That's true. They spent all the money they had. Yeah, but they spent all the money they had putting out all these movies.
Half these useless horror films all come from New World. Okay, so so let's see. It was released in April. Well, it was first released in January 9th, 1987, like we talked about. But then it got expanded into April.
Yeah.
And it had the biggest release was in 227 theaters. And that's why it gained $1 million. Let's be honest, though. Half these kids would probably go in there and make it out with their girlfriend or something. You know what I mean? They weren't watching this
Well,
shit.
I mean, yeah, people will go to horror movies. Like kids would. I mean, back then, like that's the thing. That's the high school kids would go to horror movies all the time to make out or to watch it or whatever.
So let's see what else we got on here. All right, so Laura Lifton said that she had a great time making the movie and really enjoyed playing 3 different characters. All right. She said they just slapped different wigs on me, and I got to play all the different characters. It was really fun, and that was probably one of the best times I had working on a movie because it was lighthearted. Alex Rocco was beyond hysterical. I love working with him on that movie. Literally, we laughed all day long, and I thought everybody did such a great job. It was so much fun to work on. It seemed like a pretty fun movie to make.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Let's see. We have... So it says George Clooney and Alex Rocco both had recurring roles on The Facts of Life. All right.
Okay.
Which starred Philip McCrane's sister, Nancy McCrane. All right.
Oh, okay.
Philip McCrane, if y'all wondering who that dork was. He was the guy carrying the fully nude Joy Hudson on his shoulders in the locker room. Was named... Okay, so apparently this scene is what I'm trying to get at, okay? Philip McCrane was that nerdy guy who was about to rape the girl in his truck, but it was just a part of the movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah.
All right. So apparently he carried a fully nude, even though she wasn't really fully nude, Joy Henson on his shoulders in the locker room. Well, actually, I guess she was pretty much fully nude. But it was named number 12 on its top 20 gratuitous news scenes of the 1980s by website Flashback in July 2014.
No, that's ridiculous.
So, I mean, they're just scraping at the barrel with that one because I barely saw any titty. I saw more titty from the other girls.
I know. There's way more gratuitous nudity in the 80s than this.
And apparently this is the only nude scene for Joy Henson. All right. So, good for her.
Yeah.
So, not too much else is known about this. Apparently it has a... It has a let's see. I got a little bit of like a little tagline on here. I can't find it now. But yeah, I mean, not, obviously, this is the point. This is the point of the 80s. Let's just be honest, where you go up to an executive and like, listen, we're gonna have a bunch of kids, they're gonna be kids, but all gonna be at least 20 years old. Right?
Oh yeah, of course.
We're gonna have some titties.
If not older.
We're gonna have some titties. We're gonna have a semi of a plot. Can you give me some money? And they're like, yeah, go ahead, brother. Here you go. Here's $1 million.
Well, yeah, like I was saying though, like horror movies have become such big business by this point. Like, so when the 80s started, like we've talked about before, there was very little difference between porn and horror movies. They were pretty much considered on the same level of quality. Yeah. In fact, a lot of people that worked on those early 80s horror movies also worked on porn, like Wes Craven and a few other people. But, when you get to the mid 80s, horror became mainstream, after they made, Freddy a one-liner and delivery guy instead of a pedophile. Once they started concentrating on how funny he was and people started pulling for Freddy to kill people and Jason to kill people. And that's what creates movies like this, because you don't have that sense of dread anymore. So you have to do like horror comedies to do anything that's interesting. And I feel like that's one of the things that this movie did well, was that it took what you knew about horror movies and then turned it into something else, which I think is what was really revolutionary about it, especially for its time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give them some creative aspects like that. We're doing the movie within the movie, you know what I mean? Yeah. And making it where the killer is active while you're doing the movie, and you can't tell if they're really dead or not, or if they are dead with it. So that part was good, but I do feel like this 1987 is kind of like also like, the beginning of the end for a lot of horror films, because there's so many of them on the market right now, all really doing the same shit, that I think people just got fed up with it. And that's why there was such a big low of it in the 90s.
Oh, I completely agree. Yeah. Like people were fed up. I sound like I'm contradicting myself when I say this, because horror fans were fed up with horror at this point. but it was because it was becoming mainstream, and then like it was silly and just not scary anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why in the 90s horror movies kind of took a drop until Scream.
Yeah, like for this movie, there was nothing really scary about it. I'll give them credit. There was some disturbing scenes, maybe like one or two. But other than that, it was just like, oh yeah, you could just show your like kid brother this shit, and you know what I mean. Besides all the nudity or whatever.
I was about to say, I think it's supposed to be funny. Like it's not supposed to be scary at all. I think it is supposed to be a comedy.
So, but hey, everybody, I say let's break it down. Let's break down Return to Horror High.
Let's do it.
In 1982, Crippen High School was the scene of a series of brutal, savage murders. The homicidal maniac who committed the crimes was never captured. Now he's about to return.
Killer to the left! Killer to the right! Stand up! Sit down! Right!
Return to Horror High. Return to Horror High. It's a Scream.
All right, so we start off. It's 1982, supposedly. We're in the town of Krypton. You ever been to Krypton, there, Alison?
Nope.
You never saw some Krypton football? Huh?
Never been there.
You never liked the Kryptons?
The Kryptons. That's hilarious.
So this school apparently was rocked by a series of murders. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It says the killer basically was never caught, and then several years later, Cosmic Pictures, all right, with their sleazy producer Harry Slick has arrived. All right. So basically, the first thing we get the two detectives. All right. They are basically there going over. They found some bodies laying around. So they're going over some of the gruesome murders. You could tell the blonde one, she's not all there. All right.
Yeah.
She's like saying, well, there might be 7, 8 bodies. I don't know. They're all the body parts are everywhere. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though later on we'll find out they're all together. So I guess she couldn't figure it out. All right. And there's one survivor, which is the writer guy. Wait till we get to him. All right. And then we pretty much meet Officer Tyler, okay? And he is the guy who was like tasked with checking on the school because he was going to be there. So there's a bunch of shit going on here, okay? The film is like when you see the detective and the blonde girl, that's supposed to be the real time.
Right.
When you see the cop Tyler, that's when they're doing the movie part. All right. So the real time that we're seeing at the beginning, all right, is after the whole movie has already been shot and made and everybody's supposedly dead. All right. Now we cut back to when we see Tyler. That's when we see the beginnings of the making of the film. All right.
Yeah.
Y'all got that? Because boy,
it is very confusing.
Yes. So Tyler's going in there. He gets because like basically the way that they edited it was that you can't tell what is real time and what is movie time. Okay, right. Which is clever, but it's also kind of confusing. But it is clever though. I'll give him that.
Yeah, it is clever. It's not it's not shot in a linear fashion. Like it's not in the chronological order that it should be.
Yeah. So basically what they're shooting though is this, follow with me guys, this school years earlier had some murders at it, so they are reenacting the murders in the movie, I guess.
Well, they're making a movie about the murder.
Yes. And Tyler, the cop
which
there,
happened in 1982.
He's there to be like the consultant because he was one of the cops on that did the case or whatever. All right. So he comes in there. This guy with the prosthetic mask, they fucked up. Tyler goes on this. He's basically on the set. They tell him to get off the fucking set because you're a consultant. And that's when we meet Oliver, which is George Clooney's character, which is weird to see a young George Clooney because I think I've only seen him mid-age before.
Right.
So George Clooney's Oliver, he tells the producer like, "Hey, my agent's calling me," so he leaves. All right. And long story short is basically Oliver. He got offered the a TV role, okay, to be on like this like crime drama, all right, and he needs to leave like today. And they're like, the guy's like, "Well, I was supposed to have you for a full week." He's all like, "Well, no, you guys do some low budget film. You can't even do nothing because you got no money." So he leaves and goes to be on the show, but before he can get there, he's walking around, you know what I mean, playing around with his fake gun, and then he eventually hears a noise. He goes into a little room, and he dies on a door.
Yep, and that's it.
That's
for
it.
George Clooney.
That's it for George Clooney, bro. Thank you for your contributions. Now, what I would do, because it's me, if I ever met George Clooney, I would only ask him about this movie that he was only in for like 5 minutes. I wouldn't care about anything else. I would be like, tell me what you were feeling. What was your motivation being Oliver from Return of the Horror High? Did that really set the bar for what you did later on in life, like Batman and shit? And he would look at me like, get the fuck out of here, you mark.
Get the fuck away from me.
He's like, I was banging Stacy Kleber, brother. What the hell were you doing? All right, that's what he'd say. All right, so now we're starting to meet all the crew. All right, we meet Harry Slurker. All right, and he's some sleazy producer guy. Basically, he's a sleazy producer. I mean, what else more can you say about him? That's what he did all movie, just be sleazy. All right, they're making. So let's see. So what they're doing is the cast and crew temporarily move into the real Krypton High School where they are filmed on location. So everybody's kind of like living in this whole high school basically. All right, while they're filming, and our lead actress Callie Cassidy is hired to play multiple roles. In the midst of the film shot, multiple disappearances or murders occur, which are investigated by police Diner and Officer Tyler. All right. So basically there's just a bunch of scenes like that they're doing. All right. Yeah. Harry is our cop guy. All right. That he is the cop who's supposed to be the consultant on everything. All right. He immediately replaces Oliver because of the producer guy. He sees him in the bathroom. He's like, "Oh yeah, you could play the cop guy. You could act." All right. And this is when he basically replaces Oliver. So since Oliver left. All right. And he's actually a real cop, and he just kept telling everybody that, "Well, I'm not an actor, but he's agreed to be in the film." So the tension starts going on the set. It was when Harry insists that Callie show on screen nudity. All right. So Arthur is the writer guy, and like half the scenes is the director guy saying, "This doesn't work for me, brother." So he just tears up the script.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So now he's just making some more script changes, and basically what the whole like premise of the movie is, the director guy wants it to be more like a psychological thriller, but the producer guy is like, "No, brother, we need blood and guts."
Yes.
Because that's what people buy. So just like almost in real life, you know what I mean? A director is trying to make his piece in artistic shit, and the producer's like, "That ain't gonna sell no tickets. They ain't putting an ass every five inches, brother."
Yeah, I mean, it's in that way. It's like meta in that way as well. It's almost like what it's like to try to make a movie in Hollywood.
Yeah. All right. Now we just AI everything. All right. We're gonna have some AI fucking blood and nudity, brother.
Now we're just gonna have AI movies.
Yeah. Why even be real anymore?
Yeah. Why even bother?
I'm AI Greg. How you doing?
Well, yeah, I mean, a few years from now, they'll just have AI people doing these podcasts. And
Yeah, there you go.
none of the information will be interesting.
Have
or
you
relevant,
heard some of these AI Godly, for something about like the
Yeah, they're
AI,
terrible.
the AI guy voice. Just every time I hear it, I'm just like, I gotta get rid of this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't stand it.
It's
I
like
can't
a
fucking
fake
stand
robot.
it. Yeah, and you can, even though they start to sound better, like
Yeah, you
you
can
can
still
tell like the way they say certain words that they're definitely not
Yeah, it's
real
like-
people, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like it's like a scripted or whatever. It just sounds shitty.
It's like none of these kids want to do any work anymore. It's just like, I'll just write this and have some AI voice narrate it. Like, I don't know, whatever.
So now we're starting to see that there's some murders going on. Okay, so an extra is murdered on the set, followed by Cho, a special effects assistant. Shortly after, cast members Richard Farley is caught in a booby trap that drags his body into a steel blade industrial fan.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So now, while riding the high school in between scenes, Steve recounts to Kali his relationship with his high school girlfriend, Kathy. All right. So Steve and Harry, okay, that's the cop guy. All right. He was telling Callie, all right, Callie was like the short blonde haired girl, but she also played some other scenes too. Steven was telling about his relationship with his girlfriend, Kathy, and he later found out, like during half the movie, that her father supposedly was the principal. All right. Castleman. And Castleman was like some weird principal who would capture flies. That was his gimmick.
Yes.
He was the fly catcher. All right. So Callie begins to notice like some of the cast and crew are disappearing. All right. And then they basically, Steven and Callie are the ones basically who are going on and trying to figure out the mystery on their own. All right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we get a couple like scenes that you think that are real, but they're not real. All right. So we had one jock guy who had a girl on his shoulders that he was dating. And this other guy was like, well, I bet you can't date that girl over there. So it was a girl, I guess it was Callie as one of her characters. So the jock guy basically forces this girl to go on to a date with him. All right. By picking up a naked girl in the girl's locker room saying, go on a date with me. Something that you can only see in the 80s now. All right.
Yeah,
Like
he basically said that he would put her outside in the hallway naked if the other girl didn't go out with him.
Yeah. Talk about some blackmailing shit there.
Yeah, no shit.
So then they go on to the bridge, and now he's basically not saying no. He doesn't take no for an answer because he's the high school quarterback, brother. All right. I scored 4 touchdowns in one game. All right. What did this guy ever do? Huh?
Who did this guy ever beat?
He didn't beat nobody. I did 4 touchdowns in one game, brother. Poke high.
Right. Yeah. Go fighting whatever's.
Yeah. All right. That's right, brother. All right. And I do this show. No, I'm just kidding. So what we see is before he's going to, violate her, it's a movie. Oh, shit, it's a movie. And then the girl, Callie, she gets all pissed off because she didn't want to show some more titty on the film. All right. So now we have another scene that's part of the movie. Swerves everywhere. All right. We got a creepy professor guy who was part of the real life story, I guess. He was part of the story. He's getting on to this other nerd who's apparently a nerd. The guy who falls asleep all the time in class. All right. And then the new girl, Callie, shows up. All right, kind of dressed differently. I guess remember because she's playing multiple characters.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I think her name might have been Kathy. Yeah. Her name was Kathy. She was playing the Kathy, the one that the Steven guy was supposedly dated or whatever.
Yeah.
And the creepy professor looks down her shirt and be like, "Oh yeah, you need some extra teaching." All right. And this is when we had the scene where his former girl he teached came in, saying, "Hey, how do I got a bunch of C's now after we did some of that late night tutoring?" All right. And so she's getting a little pissed off, and he's all like saying, like, "Do you want that grade to go lower? Get on out of here." All right. And then she goes to Kathy saying, "Don't worry about it. He finishes fast." There you go, brother.
Wow. More shit you can't do anymore.
Well, bro, half this. I would say those 3 scenes or whatever, you
Yeah,
cannot do those
yeah.
any
No.
film anymore. Because it's basically, we're showing the jocks doing their molesting. We're showing the
Yes.
teachers doing molesting. Okay? And we have a killer out there who's probably molesting as well, too. So they're all doing it in this fucking film. All right?
Yes, yeah.
But we find out that, oh, it's just part of the movie. All right? So then the guy who was playing the professor guy, the killer, and the one time we saw the killer in a mask, it kind of looked like one of those monk masks. You know
That's what I
mean?
was thinking too. Yeah, yeah. And it's like this
Yeah.
real plain looking face. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
And no shit, the killer is wearing... I can't even... It's wearing kitchen gloves, brother.
He is.
Wearing fucking, those little yellow kitchen
Like
gloves?
the kinds that you wash dishes with.
Dishwashing gloves, brother.
The dishwashing
The
gloves. Yeah.
dishwashing glove killer.
Yeah. Yeah. The dishwashing killer.
There you go. What more do you
He was
need?
tired of
Spirit
washing
Halloween, where you
dishes.
at?
He was tired of washing dishes at the Applebee's, and he's just going on a rampage now.
Oh, rampage, brother. So this is the only creepy part of the film to me is when they got the professor guy all tied up,
Yeah.
and he's spiking him like Jesus. All right?
Mhm.
And we're playing a cool thing in the background, kind of a cool little song in the background. I appreciate that one. And then he takes him and he splits him open, like he dissects them, like he was telling to do all the kids.
Right.
So, all right. So now, Stephen and Callie, they're doing their own investigation,
Yeah.
and so Callie is she was watching a brutal scene in which the school biology teacher Richard Browerman is dissected. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And later, Stephen notices a photo of Kathy on set. All right. So this is when he asked Principal Kutzman about Kathy's whereabouts, and he claims that she is not here. She went to graduate school. All right. So it's kind of playing it off like, it's my daughter or whatever, but she's not here.
Yeah. I was about to say the principal was her dad.
Yeah.
And now he's saying that she went to graduate school, but he's saying that what did he say? He kind of implies that he doesn't think that's true or something like that.
Yeah. So that night, Stephen and Callie find a trail of blood in the hallway, and they discover Harry and Josh's corpses, as well as a trap door leading into a basement. All right. In the basement, they find a classroom full of decomposed victims of the 1982 massacre. All right.
They're still there.
Yeah. So when they went to the one class, they saw the 2 dead heads. One of them was Oliver and stuff.
Mm.
And they're like freaking out. And then I like how Steve's like, we could do nothing for them right now. I was like, damn, brother, you're cold, brother. All right. You can
They are.
You can maybe get their head off the fucking platters thing.
Okay, well, I guess they could do that, but they are dead, so
Yeah. All right. So now they're in the basement. Now this is when they can see the 1982 massacre victims there.
Mm-hmm.
They're all posed around a desk, which was kind of creepy. This is when we had the janitor. All right. The janitor was kind of funny earlier in the film. He was talking to, I think he was talking to Steve. He was talking to somebody saying he wanted to be in porn because he got about 10 inches slapped between his leg, brother. All right. That's what and he kept laughing. He's also one of those assholes that keeps laughing at his own jokes.
Yeah.
I got 10 inches, brother. He's gonna
so
make
funny.
He's gonna make me an actor. All right. So he turns heel,
He does.
which I didn't really see coming, but I thought that was kind of cool. So basically, he's all like, "Hey, I was just wandering the fucking hallways, brother. I had a feeling the killer was back, so I was following him. I found all these dead bodies down here. I thought you all coming here. I thought you were the killer." All right. And Steven's like, no. And then after, I guess he was saying like, and then he said, well, that chair right there is for you. I think he was pointing at Kathy. So now they start fighting each other. All right. And Steven gets the best of the janitor guy. But I could not believe
Callie.
Callie. Yeah. Callie. Yeah.
Yeah. That's too confusing.
Yeah. Kathy, she played Kathy in one scene, but she's Callie. Kathy is the dead one in there. The dead daughter that's in there. All right.
She was Oliver. She was the cop. Steve.
Yeah,
she was
Steven,
Steve's girlfriend in high school. Yeah.
Yeah. So then this is when Katzman comes in there. All right. And Katzman now was starting to fight Steven now. All right. And he basically, like, he pushes Steven aside. He grabs Callie. He threatens her and everything. And he ties her up, like, kind of like ties her hands and stuff.
Yeah.
And basically, Steven has an idea saying, I'm done with this. I got to go watch some football.
Yeah.
And then Katzman didn't know what to think about this. He's like, oh shit, you're just leaving.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to think about this either. So
we're
on the same page.
He was like, oh shit, the guy's leaving. That's crazy. And he's all like, I'm gonna kill her. And he's like, that's all right. All right. So then, but it was a swerve because everything in this movie is a swerve. He takes a javelin and throws it at Katzman, and Katzman gets him right in the heart, and then Katzman kind of fakes to die. All right. So that is the story. And then apparently Arthur, the scriptwriter guy, was the last guy left to tell the story. So all the shit that I just talked about with Arthur told all the police while they were looking around the place and finding fake blood and fake body parts everywhere. All right.
Right. That's all in the past.
Yes. So Arthur's now finished recounting all the events to Chief Danny and Officer Tyler. All right. Mm-hmm. The police enter the school to investigate. While they do so, Arthur calls out, all clear, outside. Upon which all the victims who were supposed to be mutilated and destroyed all go out of the sheet and they all stand up. Mm-hmm. All right. And they basically all rise up and stuff. And they have in fact been alive this whole time. Everybody has.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in reality, Callie and Steven uncover the research that Katzman was in fact the true killer of 1982 massacre. And they killed him in the basement. Okay. So the only true deadly bodies are all the dead bodies in the basement. And Katzman are the only dead people. Everybody else faked it because it was all the sleazy director's idea was to fake death everybody. So when the film comes out, the film can be more popular because everybody in the film died, even though they did. They basically are pulling a cannibal holocaust, but not as cool.
Right. Yeah, it's like a publicity stunt to promote this movie when it comes out.
Yes. All right, so now they're in the basement, all these, detectives and everything.
Yeah.
And, oh, shit, Katzman's still alive. Oh, shit, the cops just line him up easy and he dies again. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he just comes back to life like every horror movie villain, and then they shoot him and he dies.
So now all the cops come outside. They don't see all the bodies anywhere. And the chief's like, well, maybe some sick fuck just probably picked them all up.
I guess so.
It's like,
that's likely.
Where are we going to tell everybody? That's what the blonde one said. It's like, we'll figure it out. I heard New York's hiring.
Wow.
All right, there we go. So then we get another swerve because we see Arthur put on the dishwashing gloves of doom. Mm-hmm. Now he's a typewriter, and his screenplay is called Return to Horror High, which he intends as a sequel. There's a framed photo of Principal Katzman sitting on his desk because that's his dad.
Yeah.
An unseen figure enters the room and stops Arthur's typewriter, dripping blood, and the pages on it. Arthur looks up and says, Dad. And then we end this Scream 2 movie.
Yes. One thing that I think we might have forgot to mention was that he basically, from my understanding, like Castleman killed Kathy because she was pregnant.
Yes, something like that. Yes, he was pregnant with Steven's baby.
Yeah, and then I guess he told Steven that she went away to graduate school, but he actually murdered her, which we talked about. Yeah. But yeah, so, and he was like disguised as Amos, the janitor, for part of the movie.
Oh, he was disguised as him?
Yeah.
Like he took off the mask? I didn't see that part. Did I miss that shit?
But it's really, one thing I've noticed is it's really hard to describe this movie.
Yeah.
Like it's something you have to see. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this as something people have got to see, But if you're gonna watch it, it's really better to watch it than it is to hear us talk about it, because it's really hard to describe what it's like, because it's constantly like going back, going in different parts in time. And then it's also like, and it doesn't really tell you what time you're in either.
No,
or if they're shooting a movie, or if they're shooting a movie, or if it's real life.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was pretty ingenious for its time. I mean, I feel like it's better than the reputation that it probably has, because from my understanding, it's really low on the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah.
But I feel like this movie's better than its reputation for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely something everybody can check it on Tubi. I don't know if it'll be my returning stuff, but
No. But I mean, I think it's worth watching one time.
Yeah, I would say it's all right. So, but everybody, thanks for joining us here on the Retro Blood as we continue my picks for this month. All right, some good old slasher of the school type around here. And then let me bring up my notes here. Let's see what we got going on for next week over here, because we had to change some stuff around. All right. So how about we do for next week here on the Retro Blood? Let's do Class of Nukem High.
Oh, this is a good one.
Have you seen this shit before?
I have, yeah. I saw it when it was. I saw it on VHS at one point.
Is it goofy?
Decades ago. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Of course, it's goofy. We'll do Class of Nukem High, and then we'll probably end the month with what do you think? Fatal Games or New Kids?
No, I think we should do Fatal Games.
Let's do Fatal Games at the end of this month with. All right, and then we'll have a whole big list for June. But Alison, to get on out of here, what song should we be playing?
Let's play Bleed by Skinyard.
Yes, Bleed. Because there's a lot of bleeding on this one, brother. A lot of fake blood everywhere.
And mostly fake bleeding, but yeah.
The blood was so fake that these trained professional cops could not tell the difference between corn syrup and fucking blood.
Well, they also couldn't tell fake body parts from real body parts.
Too real, brother. Too real.
Too real. That's where all that money went.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. All right. There you go. There you go. Beat that, Tom Savini. These guys tricked the cops thinking these were real body parts, brother. All right. You even had that one blonde slide from class to class in blood.
I know.
Right. While eating a hot dog.
And she didn't even wash it off. She just got blood all over her chest.
Yeah.
Everything was awesome.
That's awesome. But everybody, J.H. Alison, James Kline, we'll see you next week on the Retro Blood.
See you guys.